The following BLTV program is brought to you by O'Flaherty Law. Please enjoy.
Welcome to Learn About Law. My name is Kevin O'Flaherty from O'Flaherty Law. I hope you find this video and podcast helpful. If you need some help, please feel free to call us at 630-324-6666. We offer free consultations in many areas of law, and we have several geographic locations for your convenience. We serve all of Illinois, and we're also happy to meet with you and provide most legal services virtually without requiring you to leave your home. Enjoy the video.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Janner, an Illinois family law attorney. In this video, I will be walking you through how to fill out a petition for dissolution of marriage when children are involved. This form is from the Illinois court's website, and what you fill out may look slightly different depending on where you receive it from, but it should contain the same basic information. As always, this video is not intended to be legal advice and is for educational purposes only. I want to start out by pointing out the brochure on the Illinois court's website regarding dissolution of marriage with children states that this form cannot be used if you or your spouse do not have children together, if you or your spouse is pregnant, you do not have an address for your spouse, or if your spouse is on active duty with the U.S. military. So, if any of these are applicable to you, please visit the Illinois Legal Aid website for more help. All right, let's get started. You will want to start by selecting the county in which you will be filing the petition in. You can click the drop-down menu here and scroll down to the county that pertains to you. Next, you will want to fill in your name as the petitioner and your spouse's name as the respondent. If this is the first filing in your case, you will not have a case number yet, so you can leave this one blank. Either you or your spouse must have lived in Illinois for at least 90 days prior to filing a petition for dissolution of marriage. So here in this section, you will want to be sure that either you or your spouse have lived in Illinois for 90 days and fill in yes and the date that either of you moved here. If you do not know about your spouse, you can click Do Not Know here. In section 3, you will want to fill in information about yourself, your age, if you are employed or receive Social Security benefits, your job title, and your employer. C, under number 3, will ask if you would like to go back to your maiden name or former name. If you would, you can click yes and type in the name that you would like to have after your divorce. Section 4 will ask information about your spouse. You will want to fill in the age. And reminder, you need the current or last known address. You will want to fill that in here. Phone number. Going on to page 2. You will want to fill in your spouse's employment, if they are employed, if they're not, if you do not know, or receiving Social Security benefits, job title, employer name. This can be current employer or last known. And then you will want to click yes or no, or you do not know if your spouse is a part of the U.S. military. Moving on to section 5. Be sure to click whether you are filing for a dissolution of marriage or a dissolution of a civil union, what date you were married on, and the county, state, and country in which you were married. You'll want to click yes or no for whether you or your spouse have filed for divorce from each other in the state of Illinois or any other state. D here is important because when you're filing a dissolution of marriage, there's a requirement of 6 months of separation. This does not have to be physically separate, like living in 2 different households, but separate from the relationship. If you have been separated less than 6 months, you will have to show the judge that you and your spouse were separated because you could not get along anymore, and you tried to fix the problem in your marriage, but you could not, or the problems were so bad that trying to fix them is not the best for your family. Moving on to 6. You will want to note if you are currently pregnant or your spouse is currently pregnant. Yes, no, do not know. You'll want to fill in if your spouse is the parent of the unborn child, if you are pregnant. Reminder though that the Illinois website does say that you cannot use this form if you are currently pregnant or if your spouse is currently pregnant. Now we get into children of the marriage. If there are any minor children that were born to or adopted by you and your spouse during your marriage, you will want to add them here. You will want to add their full name and date of birth. And if you need extra space, if there's more than 3 children, you can click here and you can find this form on the website, fill it out, and attach it to this petition. Moving on to page 3, you will want to answer whether the minor children live with you, with your spouse, with both of you still, or with someone else. And if they do live with someone else, you will want to fill in the name of the non-parent and the names of the children that live with the non-parent. Here you will want to add any residences in which the children have lived in the last 5 years. You will want to note if in the past 5 years the children lived with anyone else besides you and your spouse. Fill in the name of the non-parent and the city and state in which they lived. Next, you will want to answer if the minor children have lived in Illinois for the last 6 months. And F, you will want to note whether there are any adult children that have been born to or adopted by you and your spouse before or during the marriage. If there are none, click none. If there are, you can add these in here. The court can order child support for minor children of the marriage. The court cannot order support for adult children in the marriage unless the children are in high school or disabled. So you will want to answer whether the children are disabled, yes or no, or still in school, yes or no. That will help the court determine whether either you or your spouse will be paying child support for those. Again, if you need more space, click there and you can fill out another form that's on the website. Last section here, you will want to fill out whether there were any other children born to or adopted by you or your spouse, but not to both of you. If there are none, you can click none. You will want to note here whether the child was born or adopted to you or your spouse. The court cannot make decisions about decision-making, parenting time, or order child support for any children that are not of the marriage. So it's important to fill in that information. Moving on to page 4. You will want to answer if there's any other person that is not you or your spouse who claim parenting time or parental responsibility. If yes, you will want to fill in their name and address. If no, just click no. B, here you will want to fill in whether there are any other cases, whether that be child support or any other cases that are through the court. Maybe if you have another case from one of your kids that are not born to the marriage, you will want to add that information information here. Now, this section is really important because with a petition for dissolution of marriage that involves children, you will also need to fill out the parenting plan form and turn it in either with this petition, or you can submit that to the court within 120 days of the date that you file this petition. We can talk you through how to fill out the parenting plan form in one of our other videos. Moving on to section 8. These next few sections are really important because marital property includes any debt or personal property, including bank accounts acquired after marrying your spouse. This is any debt or property incurred by either you or your spouse during the marriage. You will want to let the court know if there are any debts or bank accounts, personal property that you and your spouse have acquired. So 8 here is asking about debts. If you have some or your spouse acquired some during the marriage, you will want to click yes. You'll want to answer if you have already divided the debts between you and your spouse, yes or no. Next, you will want to note any personal property, including bank accounts, that was acquired during the marriage by you or your spouse. If there are, click yes. If there are not, click no. And then you'll want to answer whether you and your spouse have divided the personal property and bank accounts yet. Moving on to page 5. It will ask some information about real estate. Any real estate bought during the marriage will be marital property as well. If you had any property prior to the marriage, you will want to note that. Or if you're planning to buy something while this divorce is pending, or your spouse is, you will also want to answer that. So if you and your spouse own or are buying any real estate together, hit yes. If you're not, hit no. If you are buying any real estate separately, or if you own separate property, hit yes. If not, hit no. Then you will want to answer whether your spouse owns or is going to buy any real estate separately, and you can click you don't know if you don't know. Lastly, here you'll want to answer whether you have any pension or retirement accounts, as well as if your spouse has any. If you do not know, you can click do not know. 12 here wants to know whether you have any claims for injuries or damages, workers' compensation, personal injury, or accident. Click yes or no. If you're able to support yourself and are not seeking spousal support from your spouse, you will hit no here. If you are able to support yourself and you're not seeking spousal support from your spouse, then click yes. If your spouse is not able to support himself or herself without you paying spousal support to them, you will want to click no. If your spouse is able to support himself or herself without you paying spousal support, yes. If you're not sure, you can click do not know. Now, this last section here is called a prayer for relief. This is all the things that you will be asking the judge to grant. You will want to click yes or no if you're seeking child support for your minor children, if you're looking for support for the care or education of adult children if they're disabled or still in high school. Moving on to page 6, you will want to answer whether you are seeking spousal support, whether your spouse is seeking spousal support, or if neither of you are seeking spousal support from each other, click neither. Lastly, if you did want to return to a former name, hit yes. If you did not, no. And if this is not applicable to you, you can click not applicable. Lastly, you will want to sign your name, print your name, phone number, and your address here, and email address. Thanks for watching. To learn more about divorce, you can visit our page linked below. Be sure to leave questions you have in the comments section and subscribe for more legal content daily.
Hello again, this is Kevin O'Flaherty from O'Flaherty Law. I hope you enjoyed the video and podcast. If you did, we'd love it if you'd subscribe to our channel. If you need legal help in this or any other area of law, please do not hesitate to reach out and schedule a consultation. Most consultations are free and all can be conducted remotely if you'd like. Please email us, book online, or call us at 630-324-6666. We have many locations for your convenience and we serve all of Illinois. So thanks again for watching.